Okay.
What advice would you give somebody pursuing a career similar to yours?
What advice? So I think, okay. I think the most important. So if someone's interested in going into this career, again I don't call it a career, but going this path, and doing research and teaching, I think it's super important to identify good teachers and mentors. I got very lucky. I didn't realize at the time that I had found some really phenomenal mentors. And so,
Sorry.
yeah, so, so I think that's important, is like to be selective. So when you're going to, let's say you're going to graduate school, it's important to talk not just to the professor, but also to the people in the lab, and kind of get a sense of, how comfortable are they. And same is true when you're going like for a postdoc, which would be later. So that's important. And it often doesn't matter so much what you're working on. So people will often come to me looking for a lab, and I can't take any more people. They say my lab is full. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, how about would you do any research with plants? And they say, no. And I say, well, it's the same. They're doing the same thing. The same thing. So we want to study cell division and DNA damage. There's somebody downstairs who's studying plants, and he's looking at damage and how the cells respond. The technology is the same. The technique, they grow the plants, and we grow cells. But other than that, it's so not to shy away from opportunities that you think you might not be interested, because it may turn out that you really, you like it. So not to have like preconceived notions about different types of research. Also to be in a place where there's activity, meaning that if you, so this is a bad thing to say right now because my lab is there's nobody but it is fall break coming up, okay? And there's a lot of stress because there's exams and this and that, so normally there's activity, you can come anytime, but right now there isn't. But to look and see what the lab is like. Are there people in there? Is it quiet? Do people feel stressed? And also to go to the best possible place you can go. But not at the expense of not having a good mentor. You can go to MIT and have somebody who's like an SOB that you would never want. You don't want to destroy your
destroy your motive.
Yeah. So that's, I think, really important overall. So my PhD advisor, he was there. He wanted to educate us. He felt we were uneducated. It wasn't that far off, but so he did things like he brought in one of these Oxford dictionaries. There are these large dictionaries. You need to actually have a magnifying glass to see the words. Okay, there's so many. And so he would have us. He brought it in, set it up on something, and he goes. We need to increase our vocabulary. Every week, somebody's responsible for a word. Write the word on the board, and I want to hear it used. So that kind of stuff. He'd bring me poetry to read.
Was that helpful?
I think it was. I learned a word. A word that you would never ever know what it meant. And I still remember it. Woad.
Woad.
W-O-A-D.
What does that mean?
Woad.
You'll never guess it. It's an ancient blue dye that was used in England.
Okay.
How would you use
That was
that
going to be
during
my
the
second
week?
guess.
Yeah,
actually.
right.
I was
How would
thinking
you use
about
it?
that.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
But we actually, okay, so we did use it. Okay, we used it. So there's a kind of stain which you may have used in the cell molecular biology lab. It's trypan blue.
Yeah.
So we started making jokes like, who has the trypan woad? Who has the trypan woad? So we're publishing a paper, and we decided to be idiots. So in the materials and methods, we wrote cells were stained with trypan woad. Came back, they accepted the paper, but they wanted us to change the word because it was not. They didn't know what it was, and they said change the word. And we wrote back. The professor too wrote back and said, no, this is the word we need to use. And they wrote it back again. The editor say, no, the word is not. It's not used. So, no, this is the way we do it. And so if you want it to be, if people want to be able to reproduce the research, they have to know what we did. And it got in. I'll take a picture later. It got in.